There comes a moment in life when truth catches up, when masks fall and the light exposes everything. The person who betrayed you, who took your kindness for weakness, who thought they could break you and walk away untouched, is now facing the reality they tried to avoid. They thought they were winning by walking over your heart. They thought leaving you, lying to you, or disrespecting you would make them stronger. But life has a way of balancing everything. Life always collects its debts. And right now they are realizing that in betraying you, they betrayed themselves. You see, the energy you put into the world always finds its way back. When they tried to destroy your peace, they planted the seeds of their own chaos. When they mocked your loyalty, they built their own emptiness. Because loyalty, love, and truth, they are powerful forces. You can't throw them away and expect your life to remain whole. So now, while you rise, they replay every moment in their mind, wondering how they lost someone so real, so pure, so full of heart. They're realizing that the moment they hurt you, they didn't just lose a person, they lost their own chance at peace, their own connection to something honest. But here's where the magic happens. You didn't lose, you grew, you didn't break, you transformed. You became wiser, sharper, more aligned with your purpose. You learned that your worth was never tied to their approval. You learned that being genuine in a fake world is a superpower. And now, while they're haunted by regret, you're guided by vision. While they replay the past, you're rewriting your future. They're stuck in the pain of yesterday, and you're moving toward the light of tomorrow. And that's what life rewards. The ones who rise with integrity, who refuse to let betrayal turn them bitter. You turned pain into power. You turned rejection into redirection. And one day, they'll see you shining and remember that the very person they broke became the person they could never reach again. So don't seek revenge. Your success is the loudest response. Your healing is your victory. Let them watch as you become everything they thought you'd never be. Because the truth is, they didn't ruin you. They ruined their own chance to grow beside someone extraordinary, you. And now that realization will echo in their mind forever. Karma always returns. You can't escape it, you can't outsmart it, and you definitely can't run from it. Life has this incredible way of keeping score, not through revenge, but through balance. The one who betrayed you thought they got away clean. They thought they were clever, untouchable, and free. But what they didn't realize is that energy is never lost. It only changes direction. Every lie they told, every promise they broke, every time they made you question your worth, they were writing their own future, one filled with emptiness and regret. Because life has a rhythm, and when you try to play dirty, that rhythm eventually turns against you. The truth is, karma doesn't punish, it teaches. It's not about vengeance, it's about reflection. The one who betrayed you is now sitting in the quiet, replaying everything in their mind, realizing how their choices have come full circle. They thought they could replace you, dismiss you, or move on without consequence. But now they're learning that when you hurt someone who was loyal, kind, and real, the universe makes you face the same pain you caused, only multiplied. That's the beauty and the justice of life. What you put out, you get back. And while they're stuck in that cycle of regret, you've stepped into your power. You've risen above the chaos, elevated beyond the noise, and turned your pain into something powerful. That's the real win. Not revenge, not bitterness, but growth. Because the moment you chose to forgive, to move on, to let go, you aligned yourself with something far greater than them. You aligned with peace, purpose, and strength. And now life is rewarding you with opportunities, clarity, and self-love they can only dream of. Karma came not to destroy them, but to awaken them. It came to show them the difference between pretending and being real, between taking and giving, between selfishness and love. So while they're facing the mirror of their own actions, you're walking in light, in freedom, in truth. That's what happens when you stay true to who you are. You win not by fighting back, but by letting life handle what you can't. Because in the end, karma never forgets. And when it returns, it doesn't just remind them of what they did, it reminds them of who they lost. Betrayal is never just about breaking trust, it's about breaking yourself. When someone betrays a good soul, they think they're gaining control, winning power, or escaping accountability, but in truth, they're planting a seed of destruction deep within their own spirit. Because you cannot deceive love and walk away whole, you cannot break loyalty and remain at peace. The one who betrayed you believed they were taking something from you, your confidence, your calm, your happiness, but what they really took was their own integrity. And now, as the truth unfolds, they're realizing the painful cost of their actions. See, betrayal doesn't just wound the one betrayed, it poisons the betrayer. Every lie they spoke, every manipulation they made, every moment they chose ego over empathy, it all created cracks in their own foundation. They may have smiled for a while, acted strong, even convinced themselves they were better off. But inside, that guilt, that emptiness, it grows. Because when you betray someone who loved you purely, that energy never disappears. It lives in your conscience. It whispers at night. It haunts your peace. It follows you, reminding you that in trying to destroy another, you ended up destroying yourself. And here's the truth you must hold on to. Their betrayal was never your loss. It was their downfall. They might have walked away with pride, but pride fades fast when loneliness takes over. They're beginning to see that they didn't betray you. They betrayed the version of themselves that could have grown through honesty, compassion, and trust. They traded something sacred for something temporary, and now the weight of that choice is crushing them from the inside. But you took that betrayal and turned it into evolution. You learned boundaries, strength, and self-respect. You learned that not everyone who stands beside you deserves your loyalty. And while they're trapped in the storm they created, you're walking in calmness, radiating confidence, attracting better energy, better people, better opportunities. Because you refused to sink to their level, life raised you to a higher one. That's how the universe works. It honors those who stay true even when broken. So let them face what they created. Let them sit in the silence of their regret. Because betrayal doesn't just destroy trust, it destroys the betrayer. And now they're finally realizing they didn't ruin you. They ruined their own life. Betrayal is never just a moment. It's a reflection of a broken soul trying to fill their own emptiness by taking from someone who gave them everything. The one who betrayed you thought they were clever, thought they could play the game and come out ahead. But betrayal doesn't create winners, it creates emptiness. When they betrayed you, they betrayed their own heart, their own peace, their own destiny. Because you cannot wound someone who loved you deeply and walk away untouched. You cannot betray someone who stood by you and expect your soul to stay whole. Every lie they told, every fake smile, every manipulation they crafted, it all came at a price, and now they're paying that price in silence, in loneliness, in regret. They thought walking away from your loyalty would make them feel free. They thought betraying your trust would give them power. But freedom built on deception is an illusion, and power without integrity always collapses. Now they wake up to the emptiness of their choices. The people they tried to impress are gone. The excitement of their lies has faded, and in its place stands the cold truth. They lost someone who was real. They destroyed something that could have built them up, not torn them down. That's the cruel irony of betrayal. The one who thinks they've gained control ends up losing everything that truly matters. Meanwhile, you transformed. You took the pain, the confusion, and the heartbreak, and you alchemized it into strength. You stopped asking why they did it and started focusing on what you would become because of it. You learned to value yourself, to protect your peace, to walk with confidence that doesn't depend on anyone else's loyalty. Their betrayal became your breakthrough. It became the fire that forged your resilience, the storm that revealed your courage, the ending that birthed your rebirth. Now they're the ones trapped in the loop of regret, realizing that they didn't just lose you, they lost the version of themselves that could have grown beside you. They lost their direction, their peace, their inner light, because betrayal doesn't end when they walk away. It lingers, it echoes, it consumes. And while they're haunted by the pain they caused, you're shining brighter than ever. That's the power of truth. It doesn't need revenge. It just needs time. because eventually every betrayer realizes this undeniable truth. They never ruined you. They ruined their own life by betraying someone who was pure, loyal, and irreplaceable. You didn't lose. You learned. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every moment that shattered you into pieces was never the end. It was the beginning of your transformation. The one who betrayed you may have thought they broke you, but what they really did was awaken something powerful inside you. Pain has a way of teaching lessons that comfort never could. It pushes you to see who you are when the world turns its back, when love turns cold, when trust is torn apart. And in that space between heartbreak and healing, you found your strength, your clarity, and your voice. At first, it hurts like nothing else. You question yourself, you replay every memory, wondering what you did wrong. But soon you start to realize something deeper. Their betrayal wasn't a reflection of your worth, it was a reflection of theirs. You didn't lose because they walked away. You didn't lose because they lied. You didn't lose because they chose to betray you. You learned how strong you truly are when everything you depended on was ripped away. You learned how to stand alone, how to rebuild from the ground up, and how to trust yourself again. And that lesson, that power can't be taken from you. The beauty of this journey is that while they were busy destroying the connection, you were busy discovering your purpose. They were running from truth, and you were running toward growth. They wanted control, but you found freedom. And now, as they sit with the weight of their regret, you stand tall with wisdom earned through pain. You've evolved into someone unstoppable, not because life was kind, but because you refused to let cruelty define you. You see, loss is temporary, but lessons are eternal. You learned who deserves your energy and who only drains it. You learned that peace is priceless and that walking away from toxic people is not weakness, it's mastery. And now, while they're haunted by the chaos they created, you're walking in peace they can't even understand. That's the beauty of growth. It doesn't need revenge, it just needs focus. So don't ever think you lost anything when someone betrayed you. You gained wisdom, power, and strength that will guide you for the rest of your life. Because the truth is, they didn't break you, they built you. They didn't destroy your path, they redirected you to something far greater. And one day when they look at you shining, they'll finally realize that their betrayal was the biggest mistake of their life and your greatest awakening. Pain is the path to power. It doesn't feel that way when your heart is breaking, when your trust has been shattered, and when your world feels like it's falling apart. But that pain, that deep, soul level ache, isn't here to destroy you. It's here to shape you. It's here to strip away what's fake, what's weak, what's no longer aligned with your destiny. The one who betrayed you may have thought they broke you, but what they really did was ignite a transformation inside you that nothing else could have sparked. Pain became your teacher, your motivator, your silent coach pushing you toward a higher version of yourself. You see, when everything feels lost, that's when you start finding yourself. When the person you trusted the most turns against you, that's when you learn to stand on your own. Pain forces you to dig deep, to uncover strength you didn't even know you had. It teaches you to trust your instincts, to value your peace, to build boundaries that protect your heart. And while they're sitting in the ruins of their choices, realizing the damage they caused, you're out here rebuilding, stronger, wiser, unstoppable. The pain they caused didn't destroy you. It revealed your resilience. It pulled out your inner warrior. Every moment of heartbreak became fuel. Every tear became proof that you cared deeply, that you were real in a world full of pretenders. And now that authenticity is your superpower. You've turned your pain into purpose, your wounds into wisdom, your scars into stories of survival. That's how champions are made, not in moments of comfort, but in moments of struggle. The one who betrayed you underestimated your strength because they only saw your softness. But your softness wasn't weakness, it was love. And love, when it's tested and survives, becomes unbreakable. So now when they look at you, they don't see the broken person they left behind. They see the light they tried to dim but couldn't. They see the fire they accidentally started burning brighter than ever. And while they drown in regret, you rise in power. That's the truth about pain. It's the fire that purifies, not the force that destroys. You walked through the flames and came out golden, unstoppable, and free. Because pain didn't crush you, it created you. And the one who betrayed you will spend the rest of their life realizing they lit the spark that made you unstoppable. Your worth was never theirs to define. That's the truth you discover when betrayal cuts deep. The one who betrayed you might have tried to make you feel small, unimportant, or replaceable. They may have walked away like you didn't matter, acted like your love, your loyalty, your presence were things they could throw away without consequence. But what they didn't realize is that your value was never measured by their ability to see it. Your worth is internal, unshakable, built by the fire of your heart and the strength of your soul. No amount of betrayal can take that away. They thought they were walking away from you, but they were walking away from something rare. They betrayed someone who loved deeply, someone who gave without conditions, someone who stood by them when it wasn't easy. And now, as the noise fades and their pride wears off, they're finally seeing what they lost. Because when you've been loved by someone real, when you've been cared for by someone genuine, nothing fake ever feels right again. They're realizing that the void they feel isn't just loneliness, it's the absence of your energy, your authenticity, your light. In the moment of betrayal, they thought they had power. They thought they could control how you saw yourself. But what they didn't understand is that you were never defined by their opinions. You were refined by your purpose. You were never meant to stay where your value wasn't respected. Their betrayal became your liberation. It pushed you to rediscover your worth, to remember who you were before they made you doubt yourself. You stopped needing validation from people who couldn't even see your brilliance, and you started validating yourself. That's when everything changed. Now you walk differently. You speak with certainty. You radiate confidence that doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. And they see it. They feel it. The same person they once dismissed has become someone they can't stop thinking about. Their regret grows every time they realize they traded gold for dust. But you're no longer waiting for closure. You became the closure. You no longer chase understanding. You embody peace. That's what happens when you realize your worth is untouchable. The one who betrayed you may try to fill their emptiness with noise, but it won't work because deep down they know they didn't just lose you, they lost someone priceless, someone they can never replace, and now they're living with that truth. Regret is their silent punishment. It's the echo that never fades, the voice that whispers in the quiet moments when no one's around. The one who betrayed you might have laughed in the beginning, might have acted strong, might have convinced themselves that they did nothing wrong, but life has a way of stripping away illusions. The truth always finds its way back, and now they're realizing the weight of what they did. They're realizing that in betraying someone who was genuine, they didn't just hurt you, they damaged something inside themselves. You moved on, but they stayed stuck, replaying every moment, haunted by the reflection of their own choices. Regret is a heavy thing. It creeps in when the excitement fades, when the distractions stop, when they're left alone with their thoughts. Suddenly the lies don't sound convincing anymore. The people they thought would replace you don't bring peace. The life they thought would be better without you feels empty and hollow. And in that emptiness, they start to understand the gravity of what they lost. Because when you betray someone who gave you unconditional love, you lose more than a person. You lose your sense of worth. And now they carry that loss like a shadow. Meanwhile, you're no longer living in their story. You've healed, grown, and built something unshakable out of your pain. You turned what was meant to break you into your strength. You stopped waiting for closure because you realized their regret isn't your responsibility. It's their lesson. They're the ones who have to live with the consequences of their own choices, and that's something they can't escape. You, on the other hand, stepped into freedom. You let go. You forgave. Not for them, but for your peace. And that peace is something they'll never have until they face themselves. Now, every time they think of you, it stings. Not because you're gone, but because they know they can never have access to you again. They know they threw away something real, something rare, something they'll never find twice. That realization is their punishment, their karma, their awakening. Regret doesn't always show up loudly, it lives quietly, but it never lets go. And for the one who betrayed you, that regret has become the soundtrack of their life, reminding them that in trying to hurt you, they ended up destroying their own peace. Regret is their silent punishment, the one thing they can't escape no matter how fast they run or how strong they pretend to be. In the beginning, they felt confident, even proud of what they did. They believed walking away, lying, or betraying you would give them freedom, control, or power. They thought they could rewrite the story to make themselves look like the hero. But life doesn't let anyone escape the truth for long. Time reveals everything. The noise quiets down, the thrill fades, and suddenly they're left alone with the consequences of their own actions. And that's when regret begins to whisper, then grow louder until it becomes an unshakable voice they can't silence. You see, regret doesn't strike all at once, it builds. It begins with a memory that hits unexpectedly, a place that reminds them of you, a moment when they realize how deeply they hurt someone who only ever wanted to love them. They start to feel that emptiness, the kind that can't be filled with distractions or temporary comfort, because when you betray someone genuine, the guilt becomes part of your soul's fabric. They can't look at kindness the same way anymore because it reminds them of what they destroyed. They can't fully trust or love again because deep down they know what they did when someone once trusted them completely. While they're living in that inner chaos, you've transformed. You've taken the pain and turned it into power. You've stopped waiting for an apology and built a new life that doesn't need their validation. Your glow, your peace, your strength, it's the mirror that reflects their mistakes back at them. They watch from a distance, realizing that the same person they tried to break became everything they wish they could be: strong, grounded, unstoppable. That truth burns. Their regret is not just about losing you, it's about losing the version of themselves that existed when you were in their life. They lost the chance to grow, to love honestly, to be better. Now they're haunted by the memory of what they once had and the knowledge that they can never have it again. That's the cruel beauty of karma. It doesn't always punish with chaos. Sometimes it punishes with silence. It lets them see you rise while they sink into their own guilt. And every single day, that regret grows heavier, reminding them that in betraying you, they didn't ruin your life, they ruined their own. You are the victor, not the victim. That's the truth. The one who betrayed you never saw coming. They thought they broke you, that you would crumble under the weight of their lies and deception. They believed your silence was weakness, your pain was defeat, and your heartbreak was the end. But what they didn't understand was that you were only being refined. You were being shaped by fire, not destroyed by it. Life was testing you, preparing you, pushing you toward a version of yourself they were never meant to stand beside. You didn't fall apart. You rose from the ashes, stronger than ever before. When betrayal hit, it felt like a storm tearing everything you knew apart. But deep within that storm, you discovered your power. You realized that no one can truly break you unless you give them permission. You stopped being the victim of their choices and became the architect of your own healing. You turned every tear into fuel, every disappointment into drive, and every scar into a reminder that you survived what was meant to destroy you. That's not weakness. That's transformation. That's victory in its purest form. They thought the story ended when they walked away, but that was just your beginning. They expected you to stay stuck in pain, but you learned how to rise in purpose. You took back your energy, your peace, your control. You started creating a life so powerful, so fulfilled, that it made their absence irrelevant. And now, while they're still caught in the web of their own guilt and confusion, you're out there living, growing, thriving. You didn't need revenge. You became living proof that no betrayal can hold down a soul built for greatness. And now they see it. They see the light in your eyes, the confidence in your walk, the calm in your spirit. They can feel that you're no longer the same person they once took for granted. You've evolved into someone untouchable, someone they can't reach no matter how much they regret it. You've turned your pain into purpose, your suffering into strength, your heartbreak into healing. That's what true victory looks like. It's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that nothing and no one can stop your growth. You are not the broken one. You are the warrior who walked through betrayal and came out unstoppable. They lost you, but you found yourself, and that's the greatest victory of all. Let success be your revenge. That's the most powerful lesson you can ever learn after betrayal. The one who betrayed you thought your pain would be permanent, that you'd stay stuck, bitter, and broken. They thought walking away or hurting you would end your story. But what they didn't realize is that betrayal doesn't stop the strong. It fuels them. Every ounce of pain they caused became your fire. Every disappointment became your motivation. You didn't need to fight back with anger. You fought back by leveling up your life. You turned your heartbreak into hunger, your setbacks into strength, and your silence into strategy. True revenge isn't about hurting them. It's about healing yourself so deeply that their memory no longer has power over you. It's about creating a life so beautiful, so fulfilling, that it silences every doubt, every lie, every insult they ever threw your way. When you choose to rise instead of retaliate, you reclaim your power. You show the universe that no betrayal, no loss, no person can keep you from your purpose. And now, as you grow, they're watching. They see the success, the confidence, the light in you, and deep down, they know they were the ones who fueled it. While they're haunted by regret, you're building. While they're replaying the past, you're rewriting your future. You've stopped seeking their validation because your results speak louder than any apology ever could. You've become everything they said you couldn't be. That's what happens when you let your pain push you forward instead of hold you back. You took the very thing that was meant to break you and turned it into the reason you rise every single day. That's strength. That's mastery. And now, the sweetest part of it all, they can see it. They see your peace, your glow, your power. They remember the moments they took you for granted, and now they wish they hadn't. But it's too late, because the version of you they betrayed no longer exists. You evolved, elevated, transformed. That's how you win, not by getting even, but by outgrowing everything that tried to hurt you. Success became your language, peace became your revenge, and your growth became the very proof that no betrayal can stop destiny. So keep shining, keep climbing, keep building, because every step you take forward is a reminder to them that they didn't ruin you. They awakened you. Healing is the ultimate triumph, because real power isn't found in revenge, it's found in peace. The one who betrayed you thought your silence meant weakness, that your calm meant defeat, that your forgiveness meant you'd forgotten. But what they never understood is that healing isn't surrender, it's strength. It takes courage to rise without resentment, to forgive without forgetting, to let go without needing closure. You chose to heal not because they deserved peace, but because you did. You refused to let their actions poison your spirit. You refused to let the wound become your identity. That decision, that strength, is what separates the broken from the unbreakable. When you choose healing, you take your power back. You stop being the victim of their choices and start being the creator of your own destiny. You stop reliving the story of what happened and start writing the story of what's next. And that's where true transformation begins. While they're still caught in their guilt and regret, you're evolving. You've learned that peace is not something you wait for, it's something you create. You built it by forgiving, by moving forward, by deciding that your future was more important than your pain. Forgiveness isn't saying what they did was okay. It's saying you won't carry it anymore. Because carrying resentment is like dragging the past into your present, and you were never meant to live there. Healing means you've accepted what happened, but refused to let it define you. You've turned the betrayal into wisdom, the heartbreak into clarity, and the pain into purpose. And now, your peace is louder than your past. The one who betrayed you is now realizing the true cost of their choices. They see you smiling again, walking in confidence, attracting opportunities, and radiating an energy they can't match. They see that while they're still stuck in the same patterns, you've transcended them, you've found joy again, love again, life again, and that's what eats them alive. Because nothing hurts a betrayer more than seeing the person they tried to break become unshakable. Healing is your victory. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's calm, graceful, unstoppable. It's the quiet power of someone who has faced the worst and still chooses love. So keep walking in peace, because your healing isn't just your freedom, it's their reminder that you won. Not through revenge, but through rising. Healing is the ultimate triumph. It's the point where the pain no longer controls you, where the wound becomes wisdom, and where your heart learns to beat freely again. The one who betrayed you thought your peace would never return. They believed they could break you so deeply that you'd never recover. But healing doesn't mean you forgot what happened. It means you decided that the past will no longer define your future. You took the pain, the tears, and the disappointment, and you transformed them into strength, clarity, and peace. That is real victory. That is real power. Healing is not instant. It's a process of rediscovery. It's waking up one day and realizing the pain that once consumed you now feels distant. It's finding joy again in places you thought were lost forever. It's learning to smile without forcing it, to breathe without the weight on your chest. And while you were rebuilding yourself quietly, the one who betrayed you started to see something they never expected. You didn't just survive, you evolved. You became calmer, wiser, stronger. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer chase, you attract. Your peace became your shield, and that peace is something they can't buy, can't fake, and can't steal back. While they sit in regret, haunted by the echoes of their own choices, you've risen into a version of yourself that radiates confidence and grace. They can feel your energy has changed. You're no longer the person they hurt. You're someone they can't reach. That realization burns them inside, because they see that while they're trapped in guilt, you're thriving in freedom. You forgave, not for them, but for yourself. Forgiveness was your release, your declaration that you will not be defined by what broke you. And now, every time they see you smiling, growing, succeeding, it reminds them of what they lost: their peace, their chance, their connection to something real.